बस का
हाँ,
नाम लिखे।
जो पहला वाला असाइनमेंट है वो .cpp फाइल या सी फाइल में चाहिए। हाँ, और
Yes,
बाकी लेक्स और उसके आउटपुट,
Yes,
बाकी
sir.
जो असाइनमेंट दिए गए हैं वो
हाँ।
लेक्स टूल पर से करने हैं। वो आपके उसमें लिखे हुए हैं, क्या नाम है, सिलेबस में। उनको जो है आप टूल से करके हमको भेजेंगे। ठीक,
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
नहीं, टेस्ट की बात मैं कर रहा हूँ।
सर टेस्ट
क्विज क्विज का डिसाइड किया किस दिन आप देना चाह रहे हैं?
सर बच्चे तो बहुत कम है अभी, फ्राइडे भी।
अरे जो लोग टेस्ट देंगे देंगे, नहीं देंगे जीरो होगा, जैसे इसमें हुआ है। उसमें क्या है?
फ्राइडे कर दीजिए सर।
फ्राइडे को तो ठीक है, फ्राइडे को। हाँ, तो थर्सडे की भी क्लास आपकी नहीं होगी। हाँ,
ओके सर।
तो आज आज अगर आपको कुछ पूछना है तो पूछ लीजिएगा, नहीं तो हम पढ़ाने चल रहे हैं। ओके,
हेलो सर।
हाँ
गुड
बताओ।
मॉर्निंग सर। मैं सर असाइनमेंट वाले में सर ऐड नहीं हूँ सर। मैं असाइनमेंट मतलब क्लिक कर रहा हूँ जमा करने के लिए, तो लिख रहा है कि यू आर नॉट एडेड इन असाइनमेंट।
अरे यार, कैसे नहीं हो? अच्छा, हम देख लेंगे। हाँ, तुम एक रिक्वेस्ट भेज देना मुझको। ठीक,
सो असाइनमेंट में सर रिक्वेस्ट का कुछ नहीं आ रहा है सर। हम आपको
नहीं
सब
नहीं,
मेल पे लिख।
हमको मेल पर भेजना अपना, जो तुम्हारी मेल आईडी के साथ।
ठीक।
ठीक, तो हम देखते हैं क्यों नहीं जा रहा। चलिए नेक्स्ट। सो on last term we are discussing about grammar. You have seen the various type of grammar and ambiguity in the grammar, how to remove ambiguity. We have ambiguity from the grammar. We will discuss more, because if you have to go for parsing, then you have to remove the ambiguity from the grammar. Then only you can use that grammar for parsing. Okay? Otherwise, your parser is not able to produce syntactic structure that is needed for further operation, means for developing the understanding. So I have told you that there is two type of parsing. One is top-down parsing, another is bottom-up parsing. In top-down parsing, we start from start symbol and try to generate the string. A string means stream of token generated by the lexical analyzer. And in bottom-up parsing, we consider the stream of token generated by the lexical analyzer and find the prefix from that stream matching one of right side of the one of the regular expression, and we replace it by left side, and we keep on doing this. If we are able to reduce entire stream of token onto the start symbol, then that is, say that this stream of token belongs to the language, and you can generate syntactic structure. Okay, so now see how we go for the top-down parsing. In top-down parsing, we start from a start symbol and try to generate the string that is to be parsed. So there are basically two methods for top-down parsing. One is called recursive descent parsing. This recursive descent parsing. In recursive descent parsing, for each non-terminal, we introduce a function or procedure and suppose you just see suppose we have a function A, production A, B, C. So for this production, we introduce a function or procedure A, which will first match if input symbol is A, then advance means the input pointer to next symbol, and then we call B, and then again if input symbol is C, then again advance. Okay, suppose alternative. So here you can, for this if, you can use else. Here in this case, if this, in each case, if it is not this, not A, then it will use this. If it is not C, then here you can write else error. Okay, you may call error service routine, and here you can, if next symbol is not, current input symbol is not A, then you can go for another C, lowercase, capital, and D. So else we'll again check if input symbol is C, then call this C, capital C, and so on. So in this way, you can introduce procedures. But see the case, in this case, we have simple grammar. In this grammar, you can see we have two production. So, and input string is ABC. So, input pointer will point to A. It will match with A, okay. Then it will call B. The control of execution will switch to the function B. B will match this B, okay. Then C. Next input symbol is C. It will get this C. But after then, you will get the end of string marker. But your function is not in the state of return. It needs some more operation. So there will be, again it will get C. Just see how this is A, B, C. Initially your input pointer is here, and now you are calling function S. Yes will say if current input symbol is A, then advance. So it will advance to B. After then it will call function B. Function B, in function B you have to match. If current input symbol is A, current input symbol is B. You may say input symbol, you may write IP, input B. Then advance, it will advance to C. Then again, if current input symbol is C, advance, it will advance to C. Now it will go back and to function S. In function S, you have completed this B. Now in function S, you have to look for the construct C, which is missing because here you have got the termination. So this choice is wrong choice. You have to choose this. So what we do? We have to backtrack here and apply for next alternative, and then you will get the actual syntactic structure for the input string ABC. Okay. This parsing is called recursive descent parsing. We have recursive functions or procedures that through that we implement the parsing. You just see example. And last term for this grammar, E to E plus E, E plus T, E into E, E, ID. For this grammar, we have discussed about the generation of tree syntactic structure for this string ID plus ID into ID. And you have seen there is ambiguity in the grammar due to the precedence of operator. So we have removed the ambiguity. It is E to E plus T, T, T to T into F, F, F to E, ID. We have got this grammar after removing the ambiguity. Okay. Now for each non-terminal, you can introduce a function, and for terminal symbol, you can go for the match and advance the input pointer. But see, if you implement recursive descent parser for this grammar, what will happen? See the function E. For function E, first you have to call E. And then if input pointer is pointing to plus, then advance, and so on. So in this case, you just see this E will call again E recursively, and your control of execution will enter into the infinite loop. So again, this grammar is not suited for recursive descent parsing. Why it's so? Due to this type of production. This type of production is called left recursive production. Okay, there is left recursion in the grammar. Means if you have a product in your grammar, you have production A2, A alpha, beta, production like this, then that very grammar is called left recursive grammar. Here you have to always consider the notational convention we have used for writing the grammar. A alpha is the string of terminal and non-terminal. Beta is the string of terminal and non-terminal. A is a non-terminal. So if we have this type of production in the grammar, then that grammar is left recursive grammar, and we can't go for the recursive descent parsing. This is a type of ambiguity, again ambiguity. Okay, so we have to remove the left recursion. How we can remove the left recursion? You just see, for each production like this, A2, A alpha, beta, we introduce a pair of production like this, A2, beta A dash, and where A dash to alpha A dash and epsilon. This is epsilon. Now see the syntactic structure produced in both the case. First case, A2, A alpha and beta. It will start from A alpha, A alpha, A alpha, beta. It will give this syntactic structure. This production will give this syntactic structure. But see this, we start from A, means A2, beta A dash, where A dash is alpha A dash and epsilon. So it will give A2 beta A dash, A dash alpha, A dash alpha, A dash, and so on. Finally, this A dash is reduced to epsilon. So if you see this, the string which is going to be parsed is the string of beta followed by sequence of alpha. Here is string of beta, then followed by sequence of alpha. Okay, so same string is generated, but this grammar is left recursive and this grammar is not left recursive grammar. Okay, you can generate the syntactic structure using recursive descent parsing. Next, see some example. This is the okay. In general, you can write the rule. In general, you can write the rule. If you have A2, A alpha 1, A alpha 2, alpha 2, A alpha n, then followed by beta 1, beta 2, beta m. Then you can write this type of production. Then you can write A2 beta 1 A dash, beta 2 A dash, beta m A dash, where A dash is alpha 1 A dash, alpha 2 A dash, alpha n A dash, and epsilon. So in this way, you can see this grammar. We have E2, E plus T and T. T2, T into F or F, F2, E. So see this production and this production E for non-terminal E and production for non-terminal T are the left recursive production. So apply the rule. This is A, this is A, this is alpha, this is beta. Okay. So rule is, if we have, now it will be in the form of A2, A alpha beta. So we can write A2 beta A dash, beta A dash, and where A dash is alpha A dash epsilon. So here you can write, apply E2 T E dash, where E dash is plus T E dash and epsilon. Okay. Similarly, you can convert this production T2 Ft dash, where T dash is asterisk Ft dash and epsilon. In this production, there is no left recursion. So F2 E ID. So in this way, you can convert this grammar into an equivalent grammar where you don't have left recursion. If we have production like A2, A alpha beta, then this is called immediate left recursion. But there may be some cases, this is the example, and this is the algorithm to eliminate the left recursion from the grammar. See this grammar. In this grammar, S2AA A2AC, here we have left recursion, but this very production will also cause left recursion. Just see how you replace S by its right side of the production, so it will become A2 AC and S is AA. So AAD it is BD. S may replace by B and epsilon. This. Now, if you see, it is converted into this form. A2, A alpha 1, A alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. This is A alpha 1, A alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2. So what is the rule? Rule says A2 beta 1 A dash, beta 2 A dash means A2 beta 1 is BD, BD A dash, epsilon means simple A dash, where A dash is alpha 1. Alpha 1 is C, A dash, AD A dash, and epsilon. So you can see the left recursion is get removed, and you may get left recursion after several replacement. So in this way, you can remove the left recursion. See another example. Means you may get left. See this very grammar. In this grammar, see the production B, CAAB. So A is B, BC. So you just see here we don't have left recursion, then okay, grammar is okay. In this, we have just expanded AB by these two production. Alternative BCB, BC, and A is replaced by BC, B, and AB. So you have got the immediate left recursion like this: B2, BCB, CA, and AB. So this is A2 alpha, and here beta 1, beta 2. So apply rule this. So it will be beta 1 A dash means B2 CA B dash, and here AB dash, where B dash is alpha CB, lowercase c, CB, B dash, and epsilon. But see, in this case, when now we apply this B here, where we don't have left recursion, this production. So you will get this replacement, and finally we convert it into immediate left recursive production form, and then we can remove the left recursion. Okay. So in this way, we can remove the left recursion from the grammar for predict. There is one more case. This is the left factorial. left factoring you have seen very usual. If we have production A2 alpha beta 1 alpha beta 2 means this portion of the production is matching in both the alternative. So when you go for, and what is alpha and beta? Alpha and beta is the string of terminal and non-terminals. So you just consider the alpha match portion. It will, when you write recursive descent parsing, in this alpha you may have some terminal and some non-terminal. So it will match the terminal symbol and advance, and for non-terminal it will make all the function related to that very non-terminal. So in that case, it will perform a lot of operation to reach at this very junction. After then, it will go to test this construct, but this was the wrong one. Actually, this is the construct. So what happens when you need to change the alternative? You have to backtrack this entire alpha construct you have already checked. Then only you can apply next alternative. Okay, so that will hamper the efficiency of the parsing. So what you can do? We can change the grammar, modify the grammar in this form. We introduce a new non-terminal A2 match portion and that non-terminal where beta 1, beta 2. In that case, we can replace this production by these two production, and then that very redundancies get revoked in the parsing, and this is called left factoring. If left we have match to the right side of the production, there is common substring in two or more than two products right side of the production, then we can apply left factoring, and in this manner, see an example. This you are familiar with this very grammar. What is this? This is yes means statement if expression then statement if expression then statement else a statement and other statements. It is if and else, if then else constructs. So if you see up to here, it is common alpha, and here you have beta. This is beta 1, this is beta 2. So what we can do? We can apply left factoring as to alpha is I E T S S dash, and other is A, this one, where S dash is ES epsilon. This is epsilon, this is else statement, and E is a B. So in this way, we can remove the match, improve the efficiency of the parser by left factoring. Now see the recursive decision parser for this. What we have done, this is the grammar you got after removing the ambiguity due to the precedence of operator and associativity of operator. Then here you have got this grammar after removing the left recursion from this grammar. Okay. Now you can write recursive decision parsing. See, this is first production is E to T dash. This is E to TE dash. So it will call function E in this function T and E dash function. Okay. Next is E dash to plus TE dash epsilon. So see the function E dash. If input symbol is plus, then it will test this construct T and ET. Okay. So in this way, you just see this F, production F. Production F is like this. Okay. If input symbol is ID, it will advance, then call E, then it will again match. Just see, it has considered this ID. If input symbol is ID, it will match and advance. If input symbol is not ID, then it will check this. The input symbol is opening bracket, advance. Then it will call E, function E. You have already written as a very first function. Okay. And then again check for closing bracket and advance it. If it is not ID, it is not opening bracket, then it will report error. Okay. In this way, you can write the recursive decision parser for operator grammar. And just see how this parser will work. Input pointer is pointing to this ID. You are calling function E, and from E you are calling function T, and from T, just see, this E will call T and this T will call F. Just see, this E is calling T and this T is calling F. Now you have called F, input symbol is ID, it will advance. Okay, it is get advanced to next symbol plus. Okay, so it will call T dash, then E dash, then advance, and so on. In this way, your function will work. Finally, it will generate the syntactic structure. Now, although recursive descent parser is we have by removing the left recursion, left factoring, we have introduced the improved the efficiency, but again there is a lot of redundancy. So we use a special type of parser that is called predictive parser. And there are two types of predictive parser. One is recursive, another is non-recursive. In predictive parsing, there is no backtracking. We need not to backtrack. We will select one appropriate production. Why we are going for backtracking? You just see. If we have A2 alpha beta, we have applying we are testing A and alpha has, suppose, non-terminal C and beta has first non-terminal D. So again from A you will call C function. Again in C you will get a terminal symbol, and if there is no match you will come back and apply for next alternative. Okay, this is called backtracking. Means if you have several alternatives, then there may be possibility of wrong selection during parsing, and it may lead to backtrack. You have to backtrack for selecting the correct alternative. So as its name, we predict which one will be the most suited path. So for that, means if you are writing a function, so if here there is a non-terminal, then you can't decide. But if there is terminal symbol for each alternative as a leader, in that case, on the basis of the terminal symbol, you can identify the alternative. So we just try to convert the grammar in such a manner so that we are able to predict which alternative will be the most suited alternative. So for that, you just see same grammar. To predict appropriate means for predictive parser, we have after removing the left recursion, we got the. Now we draw the transition diagram. Transition diagram for each, just for E is non-terminal, TE dash, E dash plus TE dash and epsilon, because T to FT dash, T dash is asterisk FT dash or epsilon, and this. Problem is with this case and this case. Now we will simplify. Okay. See. You can write E is TE dash, where E dash is this. Okay. E is T dash, where E dash is this. So you can merge 1, 3, remove this. Means here T, here you may put like this T. So T E dash, it will become T E dash. Okay, you just see. T and E dash is plus T E, sorry, देखिए गड़बड़ हो गया. It start from T plus T E dash and here epsilon. Okay. So just see, this is again E dash. So here you can write T back, it will become E dash. Okay. हम फिर से आपको बताते हैं. First simplify T dash. This E dash, you just consider, then you will add it. Just see, plus T E dash is this. 5 means 3. After 5, again E dash, so 5 means 3. So what you can do, you can just put T here. Remove it. So it will become 3 plus T and epsilon to final state. So here 3, 4 and this is the 6. This will become E dash. This is the transition diagram, simplified transition diagram of E dash. Okay. चलिए नेक्स्ट टर्म को हम पढ़ाएंगे, टाइम हो गया. आप अगले, अब नेक्स्ट कम शुक्रवार को आपका टेस्ट होगा ना?
Yes, sir.